My name's Larry Brandy. I come from Condobolin, the centre of New South Wales. I was born in 1958. I'm the third eldest. There's four in my family. Keith is the eldest, then Rosalind, then myself, and Caroline, who's known as Carrie, the youngest one. We lost our mum when she was at the age of 25. We used to swim where our mum lost her life. She dived in one day and dived a bit too far and broke her neck. We lived on the island at that time. My mum was a huckle and they lived out at the Muri, and our grandmother on our dad's side took us in, three of us, and our eldest sister, Rosalind, went and lived with another auntie, Uncle John and Auntie Joan, because they had a girl, Gail. But Dad was an alcoholic, so it was pretty sad growing up, things like that. And every now and then he'd go away for Vane Tempest, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And work up at Foster and do help building some houses. Yeah. We were pretty poor, but Gran was very, very warm-hearted woman, things like that. She believed in God, something like that, and she would always say, you know, son, she'd call me son, and she said, you know, something will come along when we were down a bit, things like that, and they would.
Living on Burner Road with our grandmother and Keith and our father, so there was five of us in a two-bedroom housing commission house. Like you said, our grandmother, she had she raised us with great morals, principles and standards.
Gran lived on the other side of town, just on the edge, up past the cemetery. So everybody would say, do you run past the cemetery at night time? Which we would, because we were scared at the time. And then we'd also go and visit Uncle John, Johnny Uncle, who's a well-known Aboriginal singer, performer, and our other aunties, Auntie Winnie and Auntie Darla and Uncle Cac. They were on my mother's side on the Muri. We had two reservations in Condobolin. There was the Muri and then the Mission.
So yeah, we grew up with a lot of love and a lot of support and great role models.
We did. Back in 1991, I moved to Wagga for a little while and got a job with the local Aboriginal Land Council as a field officer. I worked with a bloke by the name of Riley Williams, and we went out on over the 4 years being there on quite a few occasions and worked with archaeologists. It just fascinated me because I learned more about my culture, but also about myself as an Aboriginal man. So from that experience, I slowly started to visit schools and talk about Wiradjuri culture. So these are just fruit and gum nuts, right? You find from the trees. Yeah, just yellow. One's white and one's yellow. See? All right, Merida means blossom, and that's Yarni, means journey. Eventually, the New South Wales Land Council had a restructure. So I was paid out after 4 years. Then I moved back to Canberra. I got a job at the University of Canberra as the ATOS, Aboriginal Tourist Assistance Scheme Officer. So I'd look for qualified uni students or graduates who would tutor our Indigenous students at the Ngunnawal Centre at the University of Canberra. So over the years I lived and worked in Canberra, different jobs, the public service. Then I met my first wife, Jackie, and we had a child, Adam. In about 2009, I got a job with the Australian National University. But in the meantime, we had a baby girl, Casey, in Wagga. So I'd go around to different schools in Canberra, down the south coast, and roughly within a 4-hour drive of Canberra, in West New South Wales, back home to Condobolin, I'd talk to to high school kids thinking about, you know, having a vision for the future, stuff like that. Seriously think about coming to university, but, you know, not everyone wants to come to university, stuff like that, but getting a job and doing something with their lives. Boomerangs?
Yeah,
Boomerangs, okay. Witchetty grubs, and you can carry food in, stuff like that. This sounds like an emu, so we call this an emu caller. Can you say nulla nulla? Nulla. Or a bundi, nulla. Beth, oh, you've got a tail. You've got a tail. What can we do? What can we do to to improve, education rates for Indigenous children. Because unfortunately I'd hear around on the news and stuff like that, so it's all around. And it even happened here in Canberra, kids were dropping out of school and things like that. So my partner Denise told me about the Churchill Fellowship, that I got to apply for a Churchill Fellowship and go and have a look at how New Zealand do it with their Maori students, or Canada with their First Nation students, and a little bit of America. So I put in the application. I was petrified when I went for the interview. There was about 8 people on the table, and about 3 weeks later I got the letter. I was successful. So the Churchill, if you're successful, they will fund your flights and accommodation for whatever, for so many weeks and whatever. Then you can go over and you have to, as part of it, you have to do a report. It was a wonderful experience. My first trip to New Zealand, and they sang to me in Maori language. Oh, it's just so moving. So then after the New Zealand, we headed for Canada. Non-Indigenous man came into me. He said, Larry, he said, I've got an Aboriginal woman in Canada. She's emailing me about Aboriginal culture. He said, I don't know much, mate. He said, you're Aboriginal. I said, okay. So I got a name and I contacted him and I offered to go to her school to do some storytelling. Another woman, another contact from ANU, she said, will you visit the Apache? You drive into the school, and just as I'm driving up to the school, because it's on a reservation, the school's on a reservation, you drive up, sure enough, the dogs come out and attack my car, just like it would do here if you come to a mission here in New South Wales. I said, I don't think I left home, things like that. So I went in and I did the storytelling, and they were high school students. I tried to encourage the girls to put emu masks on. They wouldn't. They were so shy. So I had to do that part myself while the boys did the hunting. And I've also had the same happen to me here in Alice Springs with the girls. They were so shy. They wouldn't put the masks on, things like that. But it was nice. After the teacher said the same thing to us, we more or less got nearly the same culture. From there, I went to Alaska. I had Bernice Joseph was the contact there at one of the universities, and we went out to a remote campus. We flew out. So I said, well, do you think I could do some storytelling while I'm out there? She said, that'd be lovely. So I did some storytelling to the infants, I think it was, and things like that. And they loved it, to see the kangaroo skin and the possum skin, stuff like that. And they told me about, their bears and woof. Just talking to the uni students there, things like that. It's very hard for them because to go to university straight out of school, because they're poor, their parents are poor, and it gets cold in the winter, and it costs a lot of money for oil and stuff like that. So they have to work. Come on. So I work at Indigenous Allied Health Australia, which is based here in Canberra, so as a membership officer. We are the peak body for Indigenous Allied Health students and graduates around Australia. So our vision is to see a better outcomes for our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people with their health, regarding health. So yeah, just lately in the past year, become a bit more active in doing a pamphlet and advertise myself just a little bit. I performed for the Multicultural Festival. Shake your right shoulder. Scratch your nose. The National Folk Festival, Canberra, a while back. Performed at Cowra at the nursing home, things like that. I've done public servants, things like that, for Reconciliation Week. Yeah, I think I've got something to offer. There's not many people, I don't think, that do what I do. Eventually I ended up with a job with Indigenous education. So I worked with Indigenous, and I used to work with Year 10, mainly Year 10 students who were having trouble coming to school and things like that. Right, so we try and look for organisations that have put them on and give them a bit of part-time job while they're still at school and things like that. So I enjoy that. And the Indigenous education asked me to give a talk to about 12 preschool teachers about my storytelling. And I said, no, I can't talk to preschool kids. They're too young. I said, they'd be horrified when I talk about killing kangaroos and emus. And they said, no, Larry, you'd be quite surprised. So I gave a talk to the teachers, and from there, the teachers invited me out to do storytelling at preschools. Now, Bubba, can you stand up and do that? But we can see this, and it looks like a baby emu, which we call a chick. So eventually the emus are concerned, the baby's stuck there, the baby emu, so they'll come over. Stay there, emus. So when they come over, when they get a bit close, you two, can you stand up and go, ah, pretend to gobble. Go, ah. Jump up, hold it with two hands and go, ah. Go like that, go, ah. Yeah, you two go, ah. Very good, hop back there, because you're the hunters. Okay, so when we hunt the emu, okay, the hunters, we then take the emu back to camp, where everybody is, and we share the emu, right, together. Okay, emu, so got your tails, emus. Let's pretend we're eating the grass. And the emu say, what did you do last night? Did you eat that horrible grass down the road? Oh, hear that? Hear that? Oh, look at that. That looks like a young chick. It's been there for a while. I'm really concerned about that chick. I think we better go and check it out. All right, and when the hunters jump up, and they go, ah, can you all fall down? And I'll be, now, how do emus walk? So remember, you've got to walk out, stretch right out. Let's go. Stretch right out like emus do. Let's go. Get ready, hunters. Jump up or stop, emus. Jump up. Jump up and go, ah. Ah. Fall down, emus. Fall down, emus. Fall down. Oh, very good, emus. From doing university, it just taught me a little bit more how to approach my storytelling and what I could do and stuff like that. When I first started, I just get the kids to be kangaroos and do the scratching and things like that. But then later on, after doing the degree, I thought about, well, maybe I could buy masks and they can a kangaroo mask on and put, same as when they do the emus up there. I can do one more. Put the branch in front of our face, and we look like a little bush. All right. So and that's how we sneak up on the kangaroo. Angels in here. Can you guys? Can you count to 10 for me, please?
1,
Let's sneak up. Sneak up.
3, 4,
Okay, stop here.
6, 7,
Put your place.
9, 10.
Okay, kangaroos, you can't see us because we're hiding. We look like little bushes. Okay, so stand up. Stand up. Stick your belly out. Stick your neck out because you heard something. You're having a big look. Okay, scratch your chest. Shake those shoulders. Scratch your ear. Okay. Lick your arm. Okay, with your right arm, go right around your back. Scratch real fast. Go back down into the grass. So when they go back down that grass, okay, hunters, let's go and tickle them. Let's get them. Yeah, let's go on. Yeah! Hop away, kangaroos, quick before we get you, quick. Thanks, kangaroos. Well, very good. Very good, hunters. 20 years later, I think I've lost count of how many preschools are. It's absolutely lovely. Sometimes I come out worn out because I have to do it. I have to do the emu or the kangaroo hunting technique 2 or 3 times so every kid gets a go. Right. They come out an hour and a half later. It's just lovely. So I enjoy that. I enjoy passing my knowledge of what I know about my culture. I love, obviously, talking to our young ones to encourage them to look into their Aboriginality, to be proud of who they are and to be confident of who they are.